Hello and welcome to Back to the Boardroom. I'm Greer.
And I'm James.
And this week we're at the final. Lord Sugar is finally deciding whether he is going to invest in air conditioning or Indian-inspired pizzas. And I think it was a tough decision, which we will go through. James, did you enjoy the final this year?
I did, yes. I actually had an Apprentice final watch party.
Oh, I love it. Why wasn't I invited?
With
Hang on.
thousands of followers.
Wow.
No, it was two loyal listeners, Adam and Rihanna, who you may have heard being some of the reporters, came round for a watch party tonight.
I love that. Did you have pizza or did you have curry? And did you put on any aircon in the spirit of things?
We did not have any of the above.
Well,
we actually had pork.
Okay, I was going to say, is it a true apprentice watch party? That's hard to say, tongue twister, without any of the above, but sounds fun. I watched it here. I did have a curry, if anyone's interested. Homemade, not by myself, but by my partner. It's a weekly thing. It's turned into podcast and curry when The Apprentice is on.
Was it a chickpea curry?
It wasn't, no. It was... it's definitely not authentic, but it is very healthy and nice, and it was chicken. So,
sadly, I made a chickpea curry, and I was given a poor review by Joe. So never again.
Okay. Oh well, maybe instead what you have to do is order some pizzas from Anissa, and then you could have authentic flavors.
Absolutely, may have to do that.
So this week there were so many good moments. I love it that we get to see people who have gone through the process come back. Now, I did want to say, did you notice that the sort of rather loud and flamboyant Nadia was left to the end of the pick?
I was going to say that. The first thing that I noted down was the order of the pick.
Because I like that.
Always quite tactical. Honestly, I was surprised how long it took for Mia to be picked.
That's a good point. Yep. Definitely.
And given how much flack Liam got put under, I was surprised he was first pick.
Me too. I think maybe Liam and Dean have become good friends. He did say in it, first time working with you, Liam, finally, which was interesting. And I don't know if that was a good thing or not, because he did put him as the sub-team leader. And then there were some questionable decisions. But I thought it was nice that Dean said when Nadia was left, it's always really awkward when you're the last one. He said, save the best till last, which I thought was very sweet.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, it's always good to see them come back. And I feel like there's always a lot of positivity in the last episode because, none of the candidates that are with, obviously, the two finalists are competing anymore. So there's no negativity there, really.
No, they have to sort of really help and go with their idea and properly listen instead of trying to get their own points across. But did you notice as well as Nadia, we had Emma return, and she returned and equally did nothing in this episode as well. Poor Emma. She's had just the best field trip, really.
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely some dominant characters in both teams.
There was. So shall we have a look at some of our other top moments this week? What have you chosen as one of your top moments?
I thought it was quite not funny, but it was a top moment when both sort of got their ratings out in the boardroom. I'm a 4.8 on Uber Eats. I'm a 9.96 rated on Checkatrade.
I know.
I just found that quite amusing. Yeah.
That was good. Finally, some people knowing their figures on The Apprentice. something, well, I guess we already brought up the fact that Liam was the sub-team leader. We have to bring up the fact that I thought it was all going to go badly wrong for Dean, but surely they can't have a mess up in the final. So Liam decided with his vision that it was going to be an advert based around using air conditioning for heating purposes rather than cooling. And in any other episode, I feel like it would have been left and we would have had that bad advert and Lord Sugar would have picked up on it. But I feel like the producers must have, I don't know, stepped in and given them that extra time or something after that conversation with Dean on the phone, because he was allowed to change it, because that would have just been awful.
Indeed. Not a great idea, unfortunately, Liam. And the aircon just appears to be clip art in the final advert, which also made my day. We had a lot of oh my goodness from the audience in the watch party.
Definitely. Oh, these adverts, it always reminds me of back when I used to properly work in radio, our advertising team, when they used to come up with scripts and radio ads to actually play, there used to be a phrase, it was two, and I'm not going to say the words because it's a rude word, two bleeps in a kitchen, meaning that the adverts were always like, oh, hey, Dan, oh, hey, Marjorie, have you heard about this new product? And it's just two people chatting nonsense that you'd never hear in everyday life. And that is what was happening at that football game. They were there celebrating with no one else in the stands, and they were saying, like, that game was so great. No one ever says that, do they?
Yeah, and that ties nicely in that random football advert to my quote of the week, which is, we've actually come up with a masterpiece.
I know, famous last words. I mean, when they were describing it, I was like, oh yeah, actually that's quite good. But then I saw the execution, I thought, And then when Anissa did say it was a random football team, like, why would that be in there? Yeah, I hadn't considered that as well. So maybe I got swept along.
Although, I did like the drone shot. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, detail orientated as ever. I actually have, very unlike me, a positive top moment to go with.
Okay.
I know, step back, I've left it
till last.
Yeah, left it for the last episode. But I thought Anissa, when she was creating a pizza, I just thought it was incredible that she could come up with and knew exactly what went with the different flavour profiles, the different things that would actually work on a pizza. She obviously was brimming with ideas for these sort of seasonal specials, other things that she could do. Just that creativity to create a really great product. And then just seemingly on the spot, but from an idea that she'd had. But then also when she was doing her presentation and the pizzas came out, I thought, oh, poor Dean, he can't just, have a bit of aircon to give out, can he? So that bit was, I thought she could be onto a winner. Everybody loved it. Lord Sugar was absolutely raving about that pizza. I just thought it was great. She must have a brilliant product.
Yeah, definitely. The pizza, when she initially made it in the test kitchen, looked amazing. I loved the greens, the reds, the pomegranate. Oh, it made me hungry. And it got some rave reviews, as you said. It's weird. I know it's not really a top moment, but just building on what you said, it's quite hard to compare, because obviously you still have to make a good pizza. But I would say, in a way, it's easier to serve everyone pizza to get a good response than to show a virtual showroom.
Yes.
And I don't know what you could have done different to make it more hands-on, but yeah, not as easy.
No, it is difficult. I think you can really wow people with food because everybody is in the market for it and everybody will have an opinion. But yeah, the air conditioning, I mean, I think it's a great business and I do think he's going to do really well. But yeah, it's a hard one to showcase to a room of experts. Something I wanted to add as a top moment from me is that Dean said in his virtual showroom, when the customer goes in, they'll be meted by him instead of met. I really enjoyed his phrase, meted.
Yeah, I think Lord Sugar pointed that out, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, a little laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows in a way that, yes, Dean doesn't have the best grasp of the English vocabulary there, but sometimes you don't need that. And I think it was, yes, it was highlighted, but it is not the be all and end all.
No, it's not true, is it, that you need to be completely academic, have the best sort of grades in life, or, as you say, know grammar or which word goes where. If you've got a great business idea and you've got a good sort of team and the ability to make money, then it doesn't really matter about the rest of it. Success isn't built on that sort of stuff.
Exactly. And that's not a dig at Dean, by the way.
No, we love Dean. This is a pro-Dean podcast, as you know, because we both have picked him in part of our predictions. Indeed.
And I thought, to end on a highlight, I thought both presentations were really good.
Yeah.
I think I hate presenting, but I really liked how both linked it to like their roots and what they're really doing it for, and both gave some, really good answers to some of the questions.
Yeah, I think so. Even though Dean walked off before his questions, they both gave great answers, and I did like that family connection. It did make them both kind of on an equal footing, really. The story, you both wanted them to do well. And I also think they both scrubbed up very nicely. Dean in his suit with his bow tie, and Anissa looked lovely in her silver and blue sari. So yeah, both very professional and great presentations. And now it's time for our final elevator pitch of the season. Now, I'm a little bit concerned, as I am always at this point in the podcast, but James, what have you come up with for the final week? Is it pizza tasting?
Ooh, that would be nice. It does have something to do with pizzas, or maybe.
Ooh.
So, in relation to the final two, and obviously because we both picked one of the final two to be the winner, we are going to essentially have 30 seconds to present an idea for the winner's business. However, we are going to present the one that we didn't think would win.
Oh, okay.
So you've got aircon.
Great.
And I've got pizza. You see what I did there?
Yes, I do. So we have to think of an addition, a good sort of an extra for their business that they could be working on.
It doesn't have to be an addition. It can be a completely different direction. All it needs to be is sort of related to their business, what they could add on or completely change tack to do in 30 seconds. And you can choose whether you want to go first or not.
I think I'm going to make you go first.
Okay.
All right. So, James, are you feeling ready?
I am not, actually.
Okay.
But we're going to do it anyway because this is how we roll.
Okay. Well, we've got a shorter time on the clock today as well. 30 seconds to get your idea in for Anissa's pizza business. So, your time starts now.
Right. Forget chickpea pizza. Forget the normal like tomato base. We are going for the mango chutney base. It's going to be lathered with the mango chutney and filled with a lot of coriander, because who doesn't like coriander? And also some raisins for some reason, because Peshwari naan. It's going to be like
time, I'm afraid.
Peshwari naan, mango chutney, coriander pizza.
Wow, that is a flavour combination that we will get back to after my elevator pitch.
Not sure it's selling.
Okay, the nerves are still here.
Okay, so make right. 30 seconds on, not 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock for your final elevator pitch of this season. It's all about aircon, and your time starts now.
Okay, so my idea for Dean's business, he's concentrating on residential, but I also think he should concentrate on the leisure market, because personal air conditioning units can be taken everywhere, and I think that's where he needs to develop. Take your own personal aircon to a festival, put it in your caravan, take it to the beach. Everyone's out in the summer. They need aircon out and about, as well as in their homes. So I think a small personal air conditioning unit of some kind, battery powered portable, would go down incredibly well.
That's time.
Thank you.
Did Greer keep her cool?
Yes, which is very difficult in this section of the podcast. So, two very differing ideas, much like the boardroom. Before we tell people where they can tell us who has won this week's elevator pitch, I would like to go back to a mango chutney base with coriander. Do you really believe that there are people that don't like coriander? Because famously, coriander is divisive. So are raisins. May I add, raisins are one of the worst foods.
Coriander makes things look good. Like, have you ever seen, a curry with loads of coriander and gone, that doesn't look good? It just automatically makes it look like a professional has cooked it.
That is true. I'm not sure if it will have the same effect if all you've got on a pizza base is chutney and raisin. We didn't even add chicken. We didn't add any sort of substance.
The coriander is a bit left field, but where I was going, bearing in mind, I don't prepare my answers before. Even though I, most of the time, come up with the challenge, I make it clear that I'm not thinking, as is hopefully evident with this.
I think it's very
answer.
evident.
But here, look, ignore the coriander.
Sorry.
What I was thinking.
Coriander as well now. This is a great episode.
What I was thinking is I like pashwara naan.
Yes.
That includes raisins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like dipping that in mango.
Yes. Okay, I get it. That's fine.
So why not combine the two?
That's good. You could have said you were going to make a peshwari naan pizza, so the base is the actual naan itself, and then mango chutney and coriander. I mean, it does work. The flavours do work. It was just very funny that the two things that you said are essentially a garnish.
Maybe that's where corianders come from, because you also get garlic and coriander naan. So
that is true.
I've gone naan central.
I like
it's
it.
It's basically a naan bread.
Yeah, so it is. If you're not watching the video accompaniment, James looks very deflated. But yeah, I like it. It just made me laugh with the coriander, because half the population, they like coriander. The other half feels like coriander tastes of soap. You have a gene where coriander either is fine or tastes of soap. So
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyway, now you've destroyed my dream.
Sorry.
I need to quiz you on your part.
Yeah, sure.
It's
a great idea.
Is it transportable? How heavy is this thing?
You can have portable fans, right? Portable air conditioning unit is just a little bit bigger than that. It's smaller than a laptop, I would say.
Okay. So are you going to have to enclose yourself in plastic?
I don't believe so.
As in, I'm not thinking about in a room, but if you're taking it to the beach, you have to enclose yourself in some kind of structure, right, to keep the cool air in. And I don't know why I went to plastic, but those sort of, it's like hardish plastic that you make a structure out of, right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about wrapping yourself in cling film.
No. Well, maybe. I guess really the thing that I have invented is a fan. But I was thinking more that you sat in front of it, if you're out at a festival and you're waiting for an act to start and you're in a big crowd and you're too hot, get out your portable air conditioning unit, which could also be called a fan. But I mean, yeah, you could fashion something that would keep the cool. Maybe there's a way to recirculate it round. More developments are needed, but I do feel like an aircon on the move would be good. But if you also think about, you could put it in your tent, then there's a structure, or in the caravan there's a structure, or I don't know, if you go to a hotel and you haven't splashed out on the budget, so it's got aircon, bring your personal aircon with you.
I don't know how efficient at keeping heat out a tent would be. I don't know what type of tent you use.
Some sort of, yes.
Maybe a polar expedition tent or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, where you really need cold air. Yeah, you'd have to have a bit more of a durable tent than perhaps one you're taking to a festival. But maybe in that situation, any bit of cold air is better than none.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And just for the record, we don't recommend wrapping yourself in plastic.
No.
Not a good idea.
Definitely not.
But
we also don't recommend having raisin and coriander on your pizza, and that is all. No.
So, yes, what did you think? Portable aircon, non-bread pizza? Let us know.
And now it's time, for the final time this season, to go back to the boardroom to find out what went on with Lord Sugar.
And I want to actually interject at this moment because I'm fed up of the secretary. No work has been done for weeks. I don't know why Lord Sugar's putting up with this. So, yes, there is no update other than no work has been done.
I guess she's physically in the building, and Lord Sugar, as we know, he's on the bandwagon for let's get everyone back in the office. So maybe just her physical presence there is enough for him.
Yes. And it's, I guess, her last day of work for a year.
Yeah, good contract.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. That is the secretary segment wrapped up for 2025.
So going back into the boardroom this week, I thought it was a good discussion. They were still definitely trying to work out who to invest in. For a while, Lord Sugar was asking some really good questions. I like this because they do get down to more businessy conversations. He did ask some questions about profits and how you'd grow your business. But I also thought it was interesting after one question where Dean was asked, why is your business better than Anissa's? He did answer the question, whereas I thought he would have said, or I would have said in there, they're two very different businesses. It's really hard to compare. Anissa's been fantastic, but I believe that I'm, worthy of your investment. But he gave a good answer anyway. But it did cause Anissa to slightly bite back a bit with, pizza versus aircon. And it was a little bit heated. And then they did have a bit of a joke. But I was surprised that there was a bit of comparison between the two.
Yeah, I think Lord Sugar did a good job of teeing that up nicely for a bit of drama. And, as much as I don't like conflict, you need a bit of feistiness in the boardroom because, there is a large prize at stake. I'd be terrified.
I would too. You've got to back yourself.
Would you go head-to-head with me?
Yeah. I would have definitely thought, okay, you've got to sell yourself. But both of them were very confident. And I think they gave really great pitches and gave great reasons why both of them were worthy candidates. And it was an interesting one that it came down to Lord Sugar wanting to invest in a company that would bring him a larger return. But I'm not sure because he has previously worked with a pick and mix business. He's previously worked with a cake business, a couple of cakes and bakery businesses. So maybe he's had experience with a food-based business. Oh, and we've had pies last year as well. So maybe he's just been a bit food heavy.
Yes, there has been a lot of food, and I think food and health and well-being has been quite a common topic recently. So I did feel like there needed to be some diversification from Lord Sugar, if that's a word, diversification.
It is now. if it wasn't before. I'm really actually quite happy that he picked Dean. I thought Dean came across as a really nice guy. It was lovely to hear him talk about his family. And I thought it was a great business idea to begin with, because I agree, summers are very warm now. I would love to get air conditioning. I do think there is a lot of people that would like to buy air conditioning for their homes. And yeah, I think that's just a really growth industry. And Anise has got some fantastic ideas. She's really creative. But it was interesting, wasn't it, that one of the experts from the pizza place, Papa John's, said that they had already brought out a tandoori range. So it is much easier to replicate, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And potentially copy. I was going to use the word steal, but that seemed too harsh. But copy. What? Replicate. Same word.
It's true. So yeah, I was happy that Dean was the winner on this occasion, but I think Anissa will definitely go far. She's obviously very capable and has lots of great ideas, and she's expanding her pizza business now anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And we probably need a trip to go sample a pizza.
Yes, please. That over what you keep telling me that you're going to buy me, the gunpowder plot.
The gunpowder plot experience. Yes.
Pizza experience over that any day.
Do you know what? I'm going to ask Anissa to make you a special mango chutney coriander raisin pizza.
Perhaps we should ask her opinion on your flavour combination.
Yeah, I don't think I'd get many approvals. Also, a final brand watch of this season, and I've got 3 brands that I saw. Don't know if you saw any this episode.
No, I wasn't.
I'm always on the lookout.
Yeah, you are. So
when the first one was in the hotel room for the too hot, too cold scene, that's what I'm going to call it, I noticed some water on the bedside table, and I believe it was the orange glass bottle of Aqua Panna or Pana. I don't know how to say it. If you know what that is, it's just a brand of, I think, sparkling water. Quite upmarket, I think. But yeah, I saw that. And then the next 2 are technology brands. Firstly, Rode, which is this brand right here. So obviously I have a soft spot for them. I think that was one of the microphones used. And a couple of people were wearing Sony headphones.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Sennheiser, and then I could be like, oh, look, it's my microphone. But no.
So there we go. Brand Watch ends for this season with 3.
I think it's time that we go through some of our predictions for this season, as we've been patiently waiting to find out who has won. Obviously, Dean has won at The Apprentice, but this is the real competition. Who out of James and I got the winner straight away at the beginning?
Yes, so we're going to ignore all the lucky dip parts that we did prior to the end of episode 1, but we will just go through our 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's 6 predictions we made after the first episode. And obviously, the most important prediction is not the winner. It is the narrator hour announcements.
Yes.
And I can tell you, Greer predicted 17 distinct hours. I predicted 19 distinct hours. This is how many unique hours or distinct hours that the narrator says throughout the whole series. So when it goes 9 a.m., that will be 1. Obviously, if 9 a.m. is said again, it doesn't count as the second one. We're only looking for unique numbers. And I can tell you, my spreadsheet, after a lot of work and actually some homework, because I lost the data for episode 3, I can tell you that we have had 16 distinct hours.
No way!
So my victory, I believe, from last year has not It's done me well this year.
I am so surprised. When we had a check-in, I thought, no, I am so wrong. You were going to win because we were on quite a high number already. So it's interesting that it was 16. I think last year it was 18. So
yeah. Interestingly enough, the last 4 episodes did not have a new hour at all.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay.
So there we go. That is a good start. But second most important prediction is, of course, the winner. And Greer predicted Anissa, which unfortunately was not correct. But I predicted Dean.
You did.
Of the first episode, which I feel is pretty good. I mean, to be honest, it's pretty good that we both predicted the finalists as in our winner predictions. So, +1 to me, I think, for that one.
So it's 1-1 now.
1-1. As for the runner-up, I'm just going to wipe it off because we were both miles off. You were probably nearer than me, but not near enough to warrant a point. I said Dr. Jana and you said Mia. So 0 points there. Next one was double firing. So we both said yes to a double firing. Kind of an easy prediction. I said there would be 1. Greer, you said there would be 2. I actually can't remember how many there were. I feel like there might have been 3.
Yes. So I was just thinking that they definitely did 2 because I remember celebrating that I would have won that point. But then they let go. Was it a couple of people at the end? In that last one, they obviously let several people go.
So they had their first double firing, I believe, in week 7. That was Frederick and Keir.
Mm-hmm.
Then in week 8, the week after, we had double firing with Malika and Emma. And then in week 10, we also saw Mia and Liam go.
That's the one. So it was 3. And then in episode 11, obviously it was the 3 out of the 5 that had gone. Yeah. So does that mean I get a point for being closest, or are you going to not let me have one?
I don't think we can award a point for that.
Of course.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Worst project manager now. And I don't know who gets to judge this, really. We'll have to agree on who got the nearest, maybe. So I said Nadia, and Greer, you said Keir.
Yes. Now I'm trying to remember what Keir's project manager task was.
Now, I can tell you, obviously, Nadia was fired as the project manager.
Mm-hmm.
And was Keir the project manager? Yes, he was the project manager once, and he won when he was the project manager. That was in task number 6, which was
Turkey.
The corporate hospitality task.
That is interesting. So I feel like because Nadia, when she was project manager, she was fired. You've lost that one. But Keir, he left the week after in the kids' banking task.
What do you mean? Surely I've won that one because she was the worst project
Oh, yeah.
manager.
Uh-oh. It's very late in the evening. Yes, you have won. Yes,
deprived.
Completely. Damn it.
Okay.
I'd like a point for my double firings.
We'll give you a question mark.
Thank
point.
you.
Okay. And then I feel like I have to win the biggest blunder. I said Frederick and you said Johnny. I feel like if it was me pitching to you who won this one, I feel like Johnny's biggest blunder was the rhubarb.
Oh, okay.
And Frederick's biggest blunder, which I believe is bigger, was his awful stare them in the eye.
The tour. I think Johnny's biggest blunder was on the same task when he delivered a really sort of poor factual tour, but because they only had to listen to that and they had to participate in Frederick's staring contest, I think that is the worst blunder out of the two.
Okay, thank you. I will give you the point for double fire.
Oh, see? Look at this. We're getting to learn more about each other's personalities here.
So it stacks up with 3-2.
Okay.
And the final prediction is the scores of the teams at the end of the 6 tasks. Now, we scored it when the teams were named Glacier and Forest by us.
Yes.
So I actually have no idea how to score this one.
Let me reopen the Wikipedia.
Fast forward some excruciating number of minutes. We've done some maths and some real calculations where people were referred to as Glacier, Forest, Team 1, Team 2, Ascendancy, Parallel, and we have come up with a result. Obviously, it's not out of 10 this time, it's out of 9, because even though there are 10 team tasks, one was won by neither team. So, Team Glacier, otherwise known as Ascendancy, won 6. And Team Forest, otherwise known as Parallel, won 3. Greer, you predicted 5 all.
I did.
I predicted 6-4 to Glacier or Ascendancy.
And may I tell you, listeners, when James heard the final result, because I counted it, he punched the air, everybody. I've never seen him so happy. But that was a good guess. You've done pretty well with your predictions this year, James.
I think so. If we give you the runner-up one as well, for fairness.
This is all very polite.
Because Mia did make it a lot further than Jana.
Yeah.
Dr. Jana. 1, 2, 3. I think we have just about a win for myself with 4 predictions over 3.
Well, I am very appreciative of those 2 points that you have now given me to make the loss not look as bad. But well done, James. You have won this year's predictions on Back to the Boardroom. You can now go bask in your glory. Your predictions are good, even if your pizza toppings are not.
Fair point.
Burn.
But do you know what? In general, I think both our predictions were pretty spot on, especially with the winner prediction this year. So, pat on the back for ourselves. How did you do? Let us know on Instagram. Now, for the final time this season, it's the best part of the show. For me, it's the news.
With who?
With Greer.
Just because I'm going to miss that. Yes, obviously quite a big news week this week because it's coming up to the final, which means that everybody who wasn't in the final 2, they've been using their last 5 minutes of fame pretty well. And so we've heard from lots of the candidates on Instagram trying to make the most of their opportunity. This also includes Amber Rose, who has gone on to open her bubble tea store, I believe in Croydon. So you can buy, well, soon to be buying bubble tea. There were pictures of her stood outside the store as things were still getting built and set up inside, so that's good to see. Also, Anissa, she has grown her business, obviously in the background, knowing that she didn't win. She obviously put a lot of work and time into expanding what is called Bombay Pizza in real life, and she now offers pizza by post all around the country. You can order a fresh pizza with all of the fresh ingredients on top, and you can cook it at home. So everybody who's been watching The Apprentice, much like us, we might be able to get to sample Anissa's pizzas once and for all.
It's got a good ring to it, Anissa's Pizzas.
I had a look actually on her menu, and I thought I'd tell you some of the flavours, because we've heard that her pizzas are 5-star. Mike said it in the interviews. Lord Sugar ate 2 slices, and I just found out on the You're Fired show, or whatever it's called, You're Hired, that Karen had hers eaten by Lord Sugar as well. So he obviously really enjoyed it. So a couple of the flavours we can get. Best-selling vegetarian pizza is a chili paneer pizza, which is sort of an Indian cheese, I guess, which sounds great. They have a spicy masala base, so it is an Indian-inspired base. It's not mango chutney, but it does have sort of that Indian flavour. Sautéed chili paneer, red onions, peppers, mozzarella, chilies, and coriander. Yes.
What can I say? I'm a cook. I'm a chef.
Exactly. There's a chicken jalfrezi pizza. There's a tandoor grilled chicken pizza, which is the classic chicken tikka one. Bombay meat feast. So I guess there's a twist on the classic flavours that we all know from Pizza Hut or wherever you get your pizzas from. Spicy masala sauce, halal pepperoni, sausage, spiced keema, chilies, and coriander. Maybe you were onto a winner and I've just laughed at you for no reason. This one is interesting. It's even a vegan pizza. Roasted aubergine, mushrooms, spinach, sautéed in masala spices.
With coriander.
I thought it was interesting that she also does an Italian margherita and a pepperoni pizza as well, which is a good idea, because there'll be people, if you're ordering as a family, that want to try the Indian style pizza, but there'll be some that want to stick to a couple of their safe favourites. So I like that she's got those on there too.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also wanted to tell you quickly, I know it sounds like an advert, but really I just love food. She does fiery Bombay fries, which are fries loaded with fiery chili sauce, garlic mayo, more chilies, and topped with...
Chilies?
Coriander!
Oh, coriander, sorry.
Yeah.
I really missed my cue there.
Yeah, I know, never mind.
Yeah, sounds, I mean, I'm hungry.
I'm starving now. I think it sounds great. So it's been really fun to see what people are doing beyond The Apprentice. And I think it's worthwhile following people's Instagrams if you want to keep a tab on what they're doing next, because The Apprentice has really turned into a proper business opportunity for everybody, not just the person who wins. So there's my little bit of news, mainly food-related news this week.
There we go. And that was your last Apprentice news with Greer.
And we've just had quickly a message in from Adam, who has shown us that on Reddit there is an AMA with someone who attended the finale presentations of The Apprentice. So if you want to ask any questions or read the current answers on that thread, head over to the Apprentice UK Reddit, where we also post our podcast. But you will be able to see some more insider info about what was going on in the room. It did make me laugh. One of the questions somebody has asked was whether Dean demonstrated his aircon in the room by bringing on the prop from the photograph from the week before. So more quality answers over on Reddit. So James, we need to talk about who was in the final last year and what have they been up to since.
Yes, the last one of the season. Lots of lasts. So we'll start with the runner-up, Phil, whose pies were absolutely lovely. So I've picked out a post from Phil, just kind of a summary post, I think, at the start of the year, with some of the lessons he has learnt. So he's talking about not being so quick to judge, especially as when you're looking at other people on TV. Nobody has it all worked out. So you just have to believe in yourself and a lot of people are just better at acting like they've got it all worked out. So don't let that stress you out. Work-life balance doesn't exist, which is a bit more of a controversial one. If you're looking to achieve something in your life, something has to give. Everything has a cost. And all that glitters ain't gold. Trust your gut. More often than not, it will be right. Some interesting insights there from Phil at the start of the year. I'm definitely more about that work-life balance, but I do appreciate that, you know, if you're really going for something, you've got to sacrifice something. But yeah, different for everyone. But yeah, some nice insights there from our runner-up, Phil Turner. And I picked out this post from Rachel Walford, who is obviously the winner of last year's Apprentice, who owns the North Studio, which is, I believe, her gym exercise business. And she did a post, a kind of advice post about the business. So as she says, as the business grows, so does the challenges that you'll face, and to like reframe your perspective. So we've got some good, nice pictures of her North Studio. So people will always talk about your business in both a positive and negative light. Your business is never going to be for everyone. So don't take everything too personally and just try and rectify genuine issues, but you'll never please everyone. Anyone can copy your concept, logo and ideas, but they can never replicate you, your energy or culture. That's a good piece of advice. You always have competitors entering and exiting the industry, so accept that, stay focused, and continue, I guess, delivering what you can. You can work all the hours under the sun, but without a good team to support your vision, you're never going to scale your business. So that's a good one. And a few more tips. So obviously, she's the winner. She's got a lot of advice from Lord Sugar and continued her successful business. So yes, a good few bits of advice if you want to look over at Rachel's Instagram. And from all of the advice and the pictures, it looks like her North Studio is doing very well. And you can find the North Studio either in Harrogate or in Leeds. And that is where they are now.
Well, that is it. The final episode of The Apprentice for this season, and also the final episode of Back to the Boardroom. It's been a great season. I've had so much fun chatting about each episode with you, James. It's been great to catch up after every episode each week and give out some of our top moments. I'm going to miss doing our podcast, I think, for the next few weeks. It's got into a bit of a nice routine.
Yes, Thursday night sessions.
Definitely. A good laugh at sort of 11 o'clock on a Thursday. But thanks everyone for listening. I hope you've enjoyed both The Apprentice and Back to the Boardroom. If you do want to hear more from us throughout the year, you can follow us on Instagram at Back to the Boardroom. And don't forget, we are in for a treat this year because it is the anniversary coming up for the main Apprentice programme. We are going to have a Celebrity Apprentice season coming up later this year. It says late in 2025, so the date hasn't been revealed yet. But who knows, James and I may return for a special to do with the Celebrity Apprentice. So
absolutely look forward to that.
Definitely. So James, do you have a final thought for us this week?
I do have a final thought. If things were ever to get feisty in the boardroom, I don't think Greer would have any problem taking it out on me and my mango chutney pizzas. Goodbye.
He's so annoyed. I guess if Lord Sugar was going to invest in one of us, I'd have to bring my A game, and I would have to slate your mango chutney, coriander, raisin pizza.
Tear me down, no mercy.
Yeah, but you would have been like, here is the reason why your air conditioning unit is bad for tech purposes.
He would definitely be like, I don't want to hear it anymore from you.
What, from me or from you?
From both of us, maybe.
Both of us. I'd look at him and be like, come on, Lord Sugar, raisins.
I'd offer him some mango chutney.